Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today I'm going to talk about the results from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix from Formula 1 and Formula 2. Before we get into this, like, comment, subscribe, it would really help. Also, thank you for 100 subscribers, I really do appreciate it. Hopefully I can make better content for you guys and you guys will also be here along for the ride. So let's go on with the video, and we'll first start off with F2 and the sprint race. So the sprint race that was won by Frederick Vestier, then Jihan Daruvla and Liam Lawson ran out the podium. And then for the top 10, we got Marcus Armstrong in 4th place, then Felipe Drugovich, Logan Sargent, Teo Pourchaire, Aramu Awasa, Jake Hughes, and Rory Nassani ran out the top 10. For the other drivers, we have Jack Doohan in 11th place, then Yuri Vips, who's our pole sitter for the feature race, Amaru Cordell, Clemens Novalak, Ralph Bushong, Cal Williams, Marina Sato, Sam Bolokabasi, Ollie Codwell, and Richard Verschoor ran out the top 20. Finally, they actually showed the DNFs. Thank God for that. Let's then move on to the feature race, and the feature race was pretty crazy. I wish I'll say, like any regular race in Baku for the F2 series. That was won by Dennis Hauger, who gets his second win in the season. And Logan Sargent and Felipe Drugovich ran out the podium. And then for the top 10, if I can scroll up a bit, there we go. In 4th place, we got Jihan Daruvla, Richard Verschoor, Enzo Fittipaldi, Frederick Vestier, Marina Sato, Ralph Boschung, and Jake Hughes ran out the top 10. Then we have Teo Pourchaire, Marcus Armstrong, Jack Doohan, who got a 5-second time penalty, Amaru Awasa, Liam Lawson, and Cal Williams ran out the top 16. Well, I guess the other finishers. I wonder, where the hell is Yuri Vips? Let's just say he kind of cocked it up. He kind of screwed up. It was in the castle section, and he hit the outside wall. So when he entered the castle section, I think he first hit the inside wall, then he hit the outside wall, and then his day was basically done. So his bad luck continues in the F2 in this F2 season. Can this man get some luck in his hands for once? Like, Jesus Christ, it's actually depressing of how bad his luck is right now in this season of Formula 2. It's actually depressing. But I do hope he does have his redemption at some point during the season. So let's now move on to the standings for F2 as after Baku. So I'll do the top 10. So the top 10 and then the rest. So Felipe Drugovich has a massive lead over Teo Pourchaire, who only gets 2 points over this whole weekend. Then you got Jihan Daruvla, Logan Sargent, Dennis Hauger, Marcus Armstrong, Yuri Vips, Enzo Fittipaldi, Jack Doohan, and Liam Lawson ran out the top 10. Then for the other drivers, we got Richard Verschoor, Frederick Vestier, Ralph Boschung, Amaru Awasa, Clemens Novalak, Jake Hughes, Rory Nassani, Marina Sato, Cal Williams, David Beckman ran out the top 20. Then Sam Bolokabasi, Ollie Codwell, and Amaru Cordell ran out the other drivers. So the next race for them will be at Silverstone, just like for F1. It'll be also Silverstone, I think, or is it? I think it's Silverstone. Maybe somewhere else. I actually can't remember right now. But F2's next race will be at Silverstone from the 1st of July to the 3rd of July. Let's now move on to Formula 1, and it was actually a pretty dull race. I mean, it was kind of dull, but I mean, it wasn't too bad, I'll say that. That was won by Max Verstappen, who gets his, I think this is like 20-something, or I can't remember what his career wins are now, but it's a lot now. In 2nd place, we got Sergio Perez and George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Pierre Gasly, Sebastian Vettel, Fernando Alonso, Daniel Ricciardo, Lando Norris, and Esteban Ocon ran out the top 10. Then, Valtteri Bottas, Alexander Albon, Yuki Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Nicholas Latifi, Lance Stroll, Kevin Magnussen, Zhou Guanyu, Charles Leclerc, and Carlos Sainz ran out the rest of the drivers. Perez did get fastest lap, and Latifi received a 5-second time penalty for ignoring blue flags, like how Latifi normally is, just ignoring blue flags. I just want to actually first talk about porpoising. So basically, if you don't know what porpoising is, I'm going to draw myself a car. So let's just draw like a boxy looking car. I don't care how it looks. Let's put the tires there and the tires here. That's like racing this way. Boo, boo, boo. Wow, it's going. So if it's racing this way, the air will go underneath the car like this, and that will cause the car to bounce. So it will bounce mainly in the rear end. Do some bouncing, you know, go like bouncing over time. Mainly over the straights, and then when it brakes, it will the air will be completely fine, and it will stop bouncing. So it's mainly because of the air underneath the car. And I think is it because of also how smooth it is? Maybe I actually don't know. But that's been a massive issue here at Baku, especially at Baku, because it was because of the long straightaway on the main straight. That's been hurting people's backs. I mean, I think Toto Wolff also said that something about I don't know. It was something about oh well, I mean the porpoising issue. So I think all like the drivers had a meeting about porpoising, and there was and only one driver basically said, "Oh, I didn't have any issues with it." It was Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso, I think didn't even care about porpoising. His back wasn't hurting. I know Hamilton. He was complaining about his back being hurt, well, hurting a lot during the race. So yeah, that's something that F1 needs to look on, because it's kind of ridiculous that it's going this bad that drivers' backs are legit dying because of it. Anyways, let's talk about what happened. So lap 9, Sainz has a brake wire failure, which is why he retired pretty early on. Lap 13, Vettel misjudges his brakes. He's braking line while trying to pass, I think it was Ocon, and goes into the runoff. So he had to loop it back. He did finish 6th place at the very end, which is a good result for Aston Martin. Lap 15, Hamilton passes Ocon. He was like down in 10th place, and he passed Ocon for 9th. Lap 20, Leclerc's engine fails. Ferrari as a whole had a terrible weekend. Their power unit was terrible. I think Zhou Guanyu and Kevin Magnussen, I think they also had power unit issues. Coming out of the Stroll. Nor do I care, but I'm joking. I think Stroll might have also had an engine issue, or like a power unit issue. I think, or maybe I'm not too sure about that one, but yeah. And then we got lap 22, Gasly passes Ricciardo, and lap 26, Hamilton passes Ricciardo. Ricciardo is just, I mean, he just started on the hard tires, and he switched over to the mediums, and he did finish 8th place, which is still really good. I mean, he finally got points onto the board, but still not really, still not the greatest for Ricciardo, especially with the rumors that he might be out of McLaren, and a possibility maybe Colton Herta. From IndyCar, he might be coming out to F1. We just have to wait and see, though. Lap 36 to 39, Tsunoda's DRS is broken and gets taped. I think it was gaffer tape. The team decided, you know what, let's just put gaffer tape onto Tsunoda's car. I mean, it's kind of like the only resource that they could really have, but I mean, not really the greatest one, but they kind of had to deal with it. Lap 44, Hamilton passes Gasly for 4th place. And then lap 51, Max Verstappen wins. And Lewis Hamilton was driver of the day. Let's now move on to the standings. And this is what the standings looks like. Max Verstappen still increases his championship lead, as Sergio Perez will take over in 2nd place from Charles Leclerc. Then got George Russell, Carlos Sainz in 5th place, Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, Valtteri Bottas, Esteban Ocon, and Pierre Gasly moves up to 10th place. Then Fernando Alonso, who also moves up to 11th place. Kevin Magnussen goes down, including Daniel Ricciardo. Sebastian Vettel goes up. Tsunoda stays in 13th place. And Alexander Albon, Lance Stroll, Zhou Guanyu, Mick Schumacher, Nico Hulkenberg, and Nicholas Latifi ran out the 2022 drivers. Let's go. I don't know what the next race is. It is Canada. So Canada will be the next race in the schedule. So we got, so I think this is also the return of Canada. So they missed out on Canada because of the pandemic. Now they're coming back after, what was it, like a 2-year, I think, like a 2-year hiatus from them. It's like Australia, basically, and Singapore and Japan. So I'll be really excited for F1 to come back to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. So on June 17th on FP1 and it will be FP1 and FP2, so it'll be starting at 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and then FP2 that will start at 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And then June 18th will be FP3 and qualifying. That'll be start on 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock for FP3. Qualifying that will start at 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And then the race will be on June 19th. That will start at 2 o'clock and that will end at 4 o'clock. So that is really about it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys on next time in the next one. Goodbye.